What a win. I thought, man, that was kind of two different games, right? The beginning was, oh dear, and the ending was Aggie softball. Really, really impressed with our at-bats. We knew that Lily was going to give us some fits. She's a lefty, steep down ball in the low 60s, and then, an excellent change. I mean, there's a reason why Duke did what they did last year. And we have a very heavy left-handed lineup, so it was good for us to kind of figure some things out. Obviously, we got to figure out the pitching stuff. I think there's some pitching things, obviously, that I think is the biggest kind of sore right now. But we did some weird things defensively that didn't help us as well. So some things kind of bled. I thought Emily Levitt did a heck of a job. She came in, gave us, inning in a third, when she came in that crucial spot, got a kid to first pitch fly out to left field. That was huge for us. Obviously Lefty came in and did what Lefty does. And so, and I think Emily Kennedy, that's hard for her. She usually gets really, really amped up and tries to overthrow. So I reminded her what her job was to do in that situation. So again, just really, really proud of our team. The crowd tonight was fantastic. I think I was told walking in here that it was the third largest, at Davis Diamond. So thank you. And those of you that stayed all the way, which most of them did, I did remind you that don't ever give up on us because we will come back, not until that last out. But they really had, I think, an enjoyable game.
So you did mention the fact is before no deficit is too possibly great to overcome, but that's something to say it against Utah State versus the top 20. So what was different? You touched on a little bit for your batters. They were, for maybe nothing to get frustrated, even though they were making outs, because it's 7-1. You're 2 runs away from getting run ruled possibly against the top 20 team.
Yep.
What changed?
Well, I just think that they were passing information on batter to batter. We had some hard hit balls right at some people. We had a couple hit to the second baseman. We had some plays that they were the correct calls, but they just didn't go our way. So I think, Coach Harger's done a great job of them just working through it. I told them I'd like them to work a little faster. But I think they're students of the game. So we made some adjustments in the box. Some of our pitch selection changed, and then we obviously put them in a tight spot.
What about just getting to run in the third inning? Because even though it was only 1 or 2, once again, Kramer's off to a hot start, and it could be anybody, but did that change the momentum on the bench at all? I feel just being able to score there in the third.
Yeah, and we also put pressure on them in the fourth inning as well. So I felt like both of those innings we were moving in a good direction. Kramer has been lights out. I mean, she right now might be the softball player of the weekend, right? Catching and hitting. And, I think the other piece was KK Dement's double off the wall. I mean, you talk about a freshman in that situation, big crowd, ranked opponent, first weekend, and she did a heck of a job, taking that ball the other way.
If I could add one more question, what about, she's the one that held the ball, though, and the runner scores, and she is a freshman. How about a learning experience for her tonight on 2 ways? Yeah,
well, I think it shows a lot that she didn't pout, right? Like, you couldn't see it. Like, she's going to learn. We're going to have some ups and downs, and she did a good job. She came in the dugout, and we practiced it, and that was her first thing she said. She goes, we just went over that this week. And I'm like, yes, we did. Because Coco, we have the advantage of having Coco, right? So when Coco's running the bases, she's doing, Brooklyn basically did what Coco does to every team in the country, right? And so, it was just a brain fart, and it happens, and she's going to learn from it. But what I was most impressed with is she didn't carry that throughout the game. She just kept going to work. That's a professional.
Multiple errors led to a lot of the initial scores by the Bears. What was the message to the team in the dugout after that second inning?
Yeah, I mean, addressing them right there is not kind of, I pick my moments. It was just, keeping our focus of where we were at. So, like, we came off defensively, and it's like, okay, let's get ready to hit. Like, we can't do anything about that. Like, we'll address that stuff at practice, not to worry. Tomorrow at film, you're going to hear about it, right? But right now, where our focus needs to be is, getting that offense going. So, for the pitchers, it was, hey, let's take a breath here. Let's get back to, we got to hit our spots. We got to change speeds. So it was really to focus back up of be where your feet are.
Going back to the freshmen, kind of what are you seeing already from them in their starting roles, and especially for Dement and Brazier?
Yeah. I think, both of them have come to the college game understanding what it takes and knowing how to compete every single day. I mean, Frankie, truthfully, Amari was starting there and Amari has an injury, and so Frankie is just waiting for her opportunity. And those of you that saw her in the fall, she did the same thing. Like when she got some opportunities out there, she did a heck of a job. And so she just, the moment doesn't get too big for her. She, is super competitive and she has a lot of tools in her box. Like she can swing, she can bunt, she can slap, and kind of saw all of it.
I guess even kind of in the third and fourth, it felt like starting to barrel up a few more balls and things like that. When you get to that fifth and sixth, was anything changed? Is it just a few more looks at the pitcher? Is it getting a different look? Kind of what was the biggest thing, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, that's our second time through the lineup, and so there was some information that I think that we did a really good job of sharing and making some adjustments. And I think it's just, last year I should say, we were the team that scored first. Like this weekend, we have started to score in the fifth and sixth inning. So maybe we can bring back the scoring in the first inning and then continue in the fifth and sixth. But, I think they just, again, let the game be the game and, hit the yellow ball over the white piece of the plate. But I think really what happened was our pitching tidied up, and so it's hard when you are coming in and they've put up a crooked number. Like we get one and we give up a run, So I think, our pitching helps, our offense.
Yeah, I guess, and after that fifth, you're still down 2 runs going into the sixth, but just, what was the feel like in that dugout? Did it... It
felt different. Yeah, it felt different. It felt like they had put the pieces of the puzzle together and they were solving it. Yeah, you could feel it.
You touched on it a little bit, but what did you see from Levitt and Kennedy to kind of come in and tighten up the pitching down
Yeah,
there?
Levitt did a great job. I mean, she's a senior. She came in, she hit her spot, she changed speeds really well. She did what she was supposed to do. I thought Lefty came in and, she came in, hit, pounded the zone. She changed speeds a little bit more today. Her and I talked about that. I felt like I needed to call a little bit more change-ups for her. She corrected her speed on it too, so there were some adjustments she made as well. And then she didn't overthrow. And what's crazy is, she's telling herself to throw 65% and she's hitting 72. So I don't know what world that is, but she's got to, for her, it's more of a mental 65% versus a physical, 65%. Being able to manipulate the ball is huge for her. So that's our 2 seniors right there.
The heart of the order with kind of Mac and Maya.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a few really, really big at-bats, but just how much pressure do they kind of put on an opposing team when you have them 1-2 punch?
Yeah, I think it's a nightmare. I think Coco, KP, they do the little things, right? They're a nightmare on the base paths. They can bunt, they can hit, they can slap. You saw that tonight. And then you get into our big boppers, which, like I said, I'm tired of having Mac on the other side. I'm happy that she's on our team now. And then Maya, I talked about Maya a lot last year, and I feel like she's really she's showing the Maya that we knew we have and recruited. So I think that's a nightmare. Allie Enright, Ojo tonight. We need those kids to put up some crooked numbers for us, and they did. It was impressive.